How to buy tax lien properties in Oklahoma. In this video, I'm going to show you how to acquire properties in Oklahoma free and clear of all liens and encumbrances for pennies on the dollar. Through this whole process, you'll see how this little panhandle state in the middle of the country, the Oklahoma expansion, you remember that? The land grab, all that good stuff. I think there was a movie about that with who was that? Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, right? They did the whole deal. They put the stake. It was very dramatic. Anyways, go watch the movie, I guess. But the bottom line is this: Oklahoma is very profitable. It's always so funny when I see this. If you stick around to the very end, I'm going to show you how to take Oklahoma and catapult it into your top states out there. You're going to see step by step through the whole process how to make big money on it. Oklahoma is a deed state. So what that means is, again, you've heard me say this before if you've watched any of my other videos. Tax liens and tax deeds are two different sides of the same coin. Tax deed states say, you know what? We're gonna wait till the property owner is delinquent a minimum of 3 to 4 years before we will sell the property for delinquent property taxes. And Oklahoma happens to be one of those. Why would Oklahoma choose it? I really don't know. I don't know why California's a deed state, or Indiana's a lien state, or Kentucky, I don't understand how the counties are making their laws 200 years ago, or whatever the case is, but that's the way it is. So what that means is a property owner in Oklahoma, in any county in Oklahoma, can be delinquent for 4 years before there's any legal action of taking the property away. Let's backtrack a little bit. That's the case in any state out there. Okay, so what Oklahoma has chosen to do is they say, you know what? Instead of allowing the counties to sell tax lien certificates after being delinquent 1 year, okay, the public can't get involved until it's been delinquent 4 years. Now, that doesn't mean the property owner doesn't have to pay these taxes up until 4 years. They still will owe the money to the county plus a penalty. The state says the public can't get involved. So I can't go to Oklahoma and say, hey, I want to buy some liens on these properties. They say, no. You got to wait to a deed sale. Okay, all of that is just fodder to come up to the fact that at a tax deed sale, they've already been delinquent 4 years. Okay, they've been notified, they've been sanctified, they've been, so many things have been sent out to the property owner within the last 4 years. Certified letters, ads in the paper. Please, somebody come in and pay these taxes before you lose the property. But at the end of the time, they go, hey, look, enough's enough. We've got to do our thing, and we need to sell this property. When you're buying a tax deed in Oklahoma and you put your hand up, you own the property. You own the property free and clear of all liens and encumbrances. There is no redemption period. There's no special circumstances. Okay, this is a great way to get properties at pennies on the dollar. Why do I keep saying that? Because it is. If you have a $300,000 property, and let's say they owe $15,000 to $20,000 in delinquent taxes, and you go to that sale and you bid it up to $60,000, $70,000, do you win? You get it at a fraction of the cost. Now, there are a lot of things that you need to understand about the property. We'll get to that in just a minute. One of the things you need to look at with any deed state is the rules, okay? The rules are extremely important. What do I mean by the rules? Well, the auction is going to have a set of rules. When the auction is held, that's very important, okay? Where the auction is held, also very important. How one needs to be registered. So let's say that I decide I'm going to be a tax lien investor, and hopefully that's what you're going to do. And you say, I want to be a tax lien investor because I want to provide financial independence for me and my family. So I open up a business, an LLC. You say, I want to register my LLC to buy tax deeds in Oklahoma. I want to own the property right now. Okay, that's great. So you register your tax deed at one of the auction places or at the county itself. And they say, okay, ABC LLC is going to be buying a tax lien. You show up. They go, who are you? Well, I own it. Well, how do we know that? Because I said so? That's not going to be good enough. Okay, they're going to want to see the articles of incorporation. Do you have a DBA, doing business as? Do you have a POA, power of attorney? Or do you have a proxy bid statement saying that you are allowed to buy the tax deed for this particular entity, even though it's your company? They don't know that. Somebody can't just randomly walk in and say, I'm buying a tax lien for that company. You have to prove that. So you have to be registered for the sale. The next thing is how do you get registered for the sale is really important, as far as, is it going to be a live auction at the county? Is there a third interested party doing this? There's going to be a number of things that you're going to be looking at with that. Beyond that is, when is the sale? Okay, is this a live auction? So if the sale is in, let's just make it up, the 1st of June, the list is probably going to come out 30 days prior to that, okay? So you have to know when the list is coming out, okay? But just as important as all of that is what's your financial objective in all this? What are you trying to accomplish? So the first thing I hear from people is, well, I just want to get a property. Okay, that's obvious, or you wouldn't be doing this. So I want you to think of the end in mind. I want to make some money on this. How much money do you want to make? Sean, I want to make $300,000. Okay, so if you say you want to make $300,000 and the average return on a deal, on a tax deed deal, let's just use it at $50,000. You have to have a target. You can't just say 300,000. You can't just say, I'm going to do a bunch of deals. Okay, you have to say 300,000. So how many per deal? 50. Well, how do I know I'm going to make $50,000? You don't. But you can't just shoot a hole in the side of the barn, paint a red circle around it and say, I hit my target. Our target is 300,000. Let's expect to make 50 per property. That means I would have to do 6 properties in order to make $300,000. So what you're going to ask yourself is, how many sales do I need to go to? How many lists do I need to be downloading? How many reviews do I need to be? It's a numbers game. So all you're doing is trying to evaluate what that is. It's so important. Now, the one thing when you're picking that number, it's like if I'm opening up a Subway, I don't just want to, my goal isn't to make a bunch of sandwiches. My goal is to make money. So an average Subway sandwich, you can put it in the comments down below. By the way, if you like this information, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Okay, hit subscribe. And if you have any questions, let me know. In Subways, I think the good Subways is making like $130,000 a year. They don't sit there and say, just make a bunch of sandwiches. They go, in order to make $135,000 a year, these are how many sandwiches you're going to make. In order to have that many sandwiches, this is how many customers you're going to make. In order to have that many customers, this is where you need to be located. It's kind of the same thing. In order to have 6 properties, this is where you need to go. In order to go there, you need to know when their sales are, how many lists, how many auctions. So you've got to evaluate, how many properties do I need to look at in order to make $300,000? See, when you break it down that way, you start saying, wait a second, this isn't as difficult as I thought it was. Because I want you to think about something. How many times do you have to put the kids in daycare, okay, drive in that traffic, look at that computer screen, put up with bosses, KPIs and all their key performance indicators and all that crazy stuff that you're looking at in order to make $300,000. So you have to start with the end in mind. Then the next objective is, okay, where is my capital going to come from? Now, here's the good news. It's not your capital that's going to do it. Skill set is number one. You just have to have the right skill set. So if you just work on finding a deal, what if I told you this? You weren't allowed to do a deal for 1 full year. It's not true. I can show you how to do a deal right away. Just listen to me. If you weren't allowed to do a deal for 1 year and all you did, this is all you did, is gain the skill set of finding deals, then after 1 year, you can make $250,000 a year or more for the rest of your life. Who would sign up for that? Of course you would. Again, get over the money. But you also have to look at your resources. What are my resources? Do I have a retirement account that I can use? Okay. Do I have equity in my house? Do I have all of these? Where are my resources where I'm going to get involved? And let me tell you something. If you have skill sets to find a good deal, there's always money to find a deal. If I told you right now, I can buy a property for $30,000. It needs $40,000 worth of rehab on it, and we can sell that property for $200,000. You give me the $40,000, I'll fix up the property, we'll sell it for $200,000, and we'll split the profits, or $130,000 50-50. Who would do that deal, right? Okay, not my money, your money. You give me the $40,000 and we'll split that deal 100%, because you know I have the skill set to find the deals. There's always money to find a deal. There are literally 10 steps you want to go through to make sure you're finding the right deal. And here's the good news. I have a brand new course that walks you through all of the aspects you need to have great skill set. And it'll show you how to find the right deal and the right auction immediately. Okay, so you can get started and level up you and your family's financial well-being right now. Just click the link down below. It's higginsmethod.com. It's a free course. My gift to you. It goes into extensive information on how you can make tax deed buying in Oklahoma or anywhere in the country your staple to provide financial independence for you and your family. This is Saen Higgins saying we'll see you on the other side. God bless. Good luck.